Hey, my name's James Nicholson and welcome to September's property news. Now, this is crazy what I'm going to tell you in this video, so make sure you stick around to the end. I just couldn't believe this when I was doing the research on Reuters and Nationwide and lots of other news sources this morning. I just am gobsmacked by what I'm going to share with you today. So this video, this channel is all about my investment journey. I've just bought my daughter Georgia her second property, and I'm going to be sharing with you that on Monday. We're grabbing the keys on Monday. We've exchanged and we're going to complete on that on Monday, and we're building a portfolio for my little baby Amelie, and I want to invite you on that journey with us. So how can you do that? To find the good, the bad and all in between about property investing, you take that finger of power, you spin it round, you smash that subscribe button and hit the bell notification. Now, you want to know what's going on in the property market, and I'm going to cover 2 months in this video. But let's first talk about what is going on in the property market. I mean, there's a lot going on at the moment, isn't there? We should really be seeing a massive slowdown in the market, all things considered, right? Now, we thought that when we had the pandemic, didn't we? We all expected that prices would drop. They did for a very short period of time, and then went up faster pretty much than they ever have done before. And that made logical sense, didn't it? We were locked down, businesses were shut, but the government had a lot of schemes and they printed a lot of money, and things like furlough scheme made sure that people were still employed, right? So that kept that going through that period. Now all of that's ended, we've got the cost of living crisis, we've got the war in Ukraine, we've got inflation at 10%. They're talking that it possibly is going to go up to 22% in January. That means people have got to spend a huge chunk of their money, their income, on just heating their house, on eating, on traveling. It's getting really, really expensive. So logically, again, it would say that the prices would come down. Now, over the last few months, we have seen a significant slowdown. Prices were increasing in 2021 at 14%. We saw that drop back. And the last few months, we've seen a 0.1% house price rise and another 0.1%. And we had some other data that was saying it went down by 0.1, which means pretty much a flat market. Now, there's some new data out that talks about July. This is from Nationwide. I've taken this from Reuters news agency. And they're saying that in July of this year, prices actually went up by 0.2%, right? Which is a lot. Like, if you've got a big portfolio like mine, that's a fair few quid that the portfolio has gone up by. Now, also shows that there is some more movement there, and it's starting to pick up a little bit more. So potentially the market has a little bit of steam left in it. Now, one thing that we have to consider is when you get a massive rate or prices going up really high, like in 97 with that crash, the prices went up the year before around about 25%, right? And then they crashed back down to what they were prior to that rise. And so that's a consideration here. If we get huge rises, invariably we will get a huge crash. Now, these little modest rises are quite good. And as an investor, this is what I would like to see for the next year or so while we get through this inflation period. Just some modest rises, some stability and predictability in the market. I think that's good for everybody. So that means if you're doing a flip or you're doing a buy, refurbish, refinance project, you can really know your numbers and know, look, this is what you expect at the end of the project, the value to be. If it's all up and down, like up 5%, down 5%, which can happen, then it makes doing deals that little bit harder. So it's nice and slowly up or down is fine with me. Now, the yearly growth in the property market at the moment is slowed down to 10%. Remember, it was 14% a few months ago. So because we've had those few months where we've had 0.1 up, 0.1 up and a 0.1 down, it means that the annual rate has really, really slowed down now to just 10%, which is good. In fact, ironically, that's where we're at with inflation, isn't it? And so that shows again that property is a good place to invest your money, because you're actually really protected in there. So property investors aren't being hit in their pockets so much by inflation with the value of their net worth and the value of their assets. Now, of course, they still are hit by materials being more expensive, by if they've got an HMO, for example, the gas and electric being more expensive, that will obviously hit as well. Now, let's look at what else is going on. Now, this is where this gets really, really interesting. And before I show you this number, give me a quick like on this video, guys. That really helps with the YouTube algorithm. But I want to tell you what happened in August of this year. Now, August can be a slow month. And the reason it can be a slow month is people away, right? Lots of transactions are slowed down and it's hard to get completions through. The deal that I've just exchanged on yesterday that we complete on this coming Monday, that took 14 weeks to buy that property, and there is no one in a chain. I'm the only buyer in there. It was insane. Everything was just really, really slow. And so August, we saw a lot of transactions completing, and the market actually went up 0.8%, which is crazy, right? So nearly 1% up in the month of August, which is really not what people were expecting at all. We were expecting a number similar to that, or a 0.1, or a flat, or even a slightly down on the market, and it shows the resilience in that property market. Now, why is that happening? Why are we still getting price increases in some areas? Well, the reason is there is still not enough stock, right? There is still not enough houses in the UK, and that isn't going to change anytime soon. In fact, if we go into a recession, you might find home building slows down even more, right? Because big building firms, they don't want to commit to big projects when interest rates are rising and there's a potential recession as well, meaning maybe they haven't got buyers on the back end of that. They like the certainty as much as anybody else. Now, what that will do is will hit it will hit prices even more, because potentially that will keep them going up because there's a supply and demand issue. The UK government is committed to building 300,000 houses per year. They only have got 100,000 built. And that is really putting the pressure on. And that is also why you're seeing rents increase, right? Rents are increasing as well. Now, landlords are getting hit from all sides at the moment. The court of public opinion is not particularly favourable of landlords, because their perception is that raising the rent is unfair and landlords are greedy. But what you have to look at here is landlord costs are going up as well. Putting interest rates up means they've got to pay more for their monthly payments on the mortgage. Other things that they've got to do is they've got to get EPCs up to a level C, which means they might have to spend tens of thousands of pounds updating their property. And a lot of them are selling for that reason. You've also got the tax from Section 24 that's really hitting landlords as well. And so we did a video yesterday explaining why if you bought in your personal name, you might actually not make any money these days as a landlord. So you've got to buy through a limited company and use that vehicle to make sure that you are really successful as a landlord. So that is what's happening in the market. Prices have gone up in July. Prices have gone up in August. I didn't think that they would go up that much in August, but it's still a fairly big rise. We've got a 10% annual growth, which is still pretty high as well. Lots of things are going to happen. We're probably going to see another interest rate rise very, very soon, because if inflation goes up to 22%, one of the ways that they curb that is by rising interest rates to stop spending and create some unemployment, unfortunately, to bring that inflation down. So I'd love to know your thoughts. Did you think prices would continue to rise like they are? This is crazy, right? What do you think? Comment below and let me know. Do like the video. And do join us on our upcoming live event. So in the description, I'm going to put a link where you can input your details and get all of the information on our upcoming live event. So click on that link, add your details. Do check out all the other videos and make sure you're subscribed, because next Monday, you're going to get a tour around my latest project. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Check out this video right here. Bye for now.